Hey,
Hey,
welcome back to Let's Laugh About It.
we're
Uh,
back.
we're
Did you guys
back.
see me?
We missed Jackie so much, and you know what I really missed, and like I've been like legitimately sad and on the verge of tears about
Oh, what?
I miss our in person podcast of us just like dying laughing.
I know. I know. And like all those clips, like I edited like a few reels from like old episodes just to like get some content in when we were like busy and stuff. And like it hits different.
It hits so different. Oh my gosh! So we're gonna have to figure out how to like replicate it virtually
I know.
or do more in person. Um, Whenever we're traveling, we're always like, we're gonna record like 7 podcasts because we're gonna be in person. And then it's so hard because you're traveling for something and then it's just hard to get in.
People don't realize how time consuming it is. Um, like, because you might see a 45-minute episode, but the recording was probably like an hour 15. And then like stuff goes into like setting it up. And like you have to be in the right headspace. You can't like
Yeah.
do it at the end of the day when you're like tired and you had a whole day. You can't do that.
No.
So it's really a lot.
Yeah. And sometimes it really is about just like forcing yourself to be in that right mind space. And that in itself is work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. We could like segue or wait, do you want to talk about your ADHD, ADD journey? Is it ADHD or ADD?
It's ADHD. Yeah, we could talk about it. Fuck HIPAA, right?
Fuck HIPAA. Well, I guess you could talk about your own.
Yeah, no. I actually, yeah, I actually just got off a doctor's appointment. And so I do believe I've struggled with ADHD like my entire life, but I kind of grew up in I actually think a lot of our parents were like this in like our age group,
Mhm.
of just like kind of looking down on like getting any type of like mental stuff, honestly. Um
Yeah.
and to me growing up, and I don't know if it was just like my household or what, but it was like as if ADHD was fake and like
Hmm.
you're just a rowdy kid kind of thing.
Yeah. I think a lot of parents, like I remember that being like a thing. Like I didn't really know what ADD or ADHD really was, honestly, until like high school. I didn't really know anything like about, even now I'm like, is it ADHD or ADD that we're talking about? Like I'm still kind of like unsure on those two. But yeah, they're like so valid and so real and like untreated. You like cannot concentrate. Like life is in disarray.
Yeah. Well, and Jackie, I think as it's been very validating for me for Jackie to see like how my brain works and
Mhm.
like how like I don't want to say a normal person, but like a normal person's brain is like supposed to work. But I was always that kid that got put like they would move my desk into the corner because like by myself because I like wouldn't shut the fuck up, like, and it didn't matter where I moved to, I would just like talk and talk and talk. And that's like when I think back to my childhood, I'm like, oh, that's like definitely because I had ADHD and I couldn't
Yeah.
like focus and I had to be doing something. I had to like, I was very smart and I do think I'm pretty like fairly wise or smart, but I just like had trouble just shutting the fuck up and like focusing.
Yeah.
So when I was 19, I was diagnosed with the ADHD. Like officially, I took medication, and around that time, or maybe it was where I was in North Carolina, they were very like they made me feel so bad about my diagnosis and like having to take medication that was like a controlled substance, whatever.
Yeah.
But they kept putting me on different meds that like they like refused to put me on Adderall, and
Oh, weird,
I
really.
they kept putting me on like antidepressants. And I remember one time like to fix my ADHD, And so I tried all these different medications for ADD. And then the last one they put me on was Concerta, and I got super depressed on it. And I gave up because I was like, you know what? Like, this isn't worth messing with my, like, making it worse. And
Yeah.
yeah, I gave up, and I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna like make ADHD my superpower, blah blah blah. But recently, and it's a common theme with like my bosses and just like my peers and stuff, where I'm like, I'm so good at ideating, I'm so good at problem solving, like this, that, and the other. Like, I'm good at my job, but I have such an issue like finishing a task, and like
Mm-hmm.
having to be, I don't know, there's just like, I'm good at my job, but then there's, everyone has like their flaws. So
Yeah.
I finally like decided, like, stop making excuses, blah blah blah. And I went to the doctor, and I'm getting medicated again, and the doctor's like super super nice. At first, I was telling Jackie, like, my first doctor's appointment, I had to do 3 of them. But the first one, I was like bawling my eyes out, and she was like emotionless. And I was like, oh,
I think
like,
some people don't know how to respond to like somebody visibly crying. Because I can kind of be like that too sometimes, where I'm like, I feel like I seem like I don't care, but I care a lot.
yeah. And maybe it just like, maybe she thought I was going to make it worse if she commented on it or whatever. And I don't even know what I didn't expect. I don't know. I was just like kind of embarrassed, but it
Yeah.
was because she was asking me how my like relationships, like my friends and family,
Hmm.
like relationships are. And like, you know how I am with my texts and my phone calls, I just like
Hmm.
can't keep up. And it made me like so sad, because she didn't make me sad, but it was like made me sad thinking about it, where I'm like, I'm such like an out of sight out of mind person, and it really affects my relationships. And
Yeah.
they say that's like an ADHD thing too. So yeah, I started crying, but it's fine.
Well, I promise our relationship's fine.
Yeah, because you want to know one of the biggest things is,
What?
I rely on you so much. And so I'm like, you're in sight all the time. And so it's like, I'm I obviously like love you so much, but I love all my friends so much, but I have such a hard time when it's like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is hard. Even like, um, I mean, a good thing is that we have like group chats and stuff. I feel like that's a way to like stay so like attached to people. But I think also like group chats, like as I get older, I realize that they also can be like such a hindrance for people, because sometimes you'll notice that like certain people won't reach out to you directly as much anymore. And it's because they feel like they're always talking to you. But then like sometimes like even I'll go to like text somebody that I'm in a group chat with. So I feel like I'm talking to them all the time, and I'll go to text them and I'll be like, oh my God, the last time we texted was 4 months ago. Like
Yeah.
I talk to
Yeah.
them all the time.
Yeah. And then there's this like weird thing where people like, it's kind of like the love languages, I think, where it's like
Mhm.
people react differently or kind of make assumptions. And where you're saying like, I feel like we're talking all the time, so you feel like they're like everything's good, but then you talk to maybe someone on the side in that group chat, and then you're like, not you, but like, I'm just talking about like in general, because I do
Yeah.
this. And then like another person in the group chat's like, well, we don't talk on the side. But it's like,
Yeah.
there's just like such a weird, this whole like dynamic of just the way the world is changing is like hard for relationships, I
Yeah.
think.
But it's good that you finally went to the doctor for it, because you've been talking about going to the doctor for it for a while. So it's like good that you finally did, and that like something like, how quick do you get the medication now?
Um, I think it's like 24 hours if the pharmacy is open. I'm gonna try
Yeah.
after this and see if the
Because I
pharmacy is
know half
open.
the battle is like you only did like the first step. Like finding what medication works for you really is like such a long haul. So hopefully it like is an easy transition.
Yeah, and the next step is going to therapy. She was like, go to therapy.
Therapy is so great. And some people like don't think they need to go. Like even if your life has been like perfect, like you don't have like childhood trauma or anything, like those people should still go to therapy. Like you have issues that you don't even know you have. Like go.
Every human being can benefit from therapy, and I even think anything with a brain can benefit.
Yeah, because life
Like
is
sometimes
hard.
I'm like, Zolly needs therapy.
Yeah, no, Zoe does need therapy.
My dog
Alex is
for
supposed to be
sure
Zoe's
needs therapy.
emotional support dog, but like it's literally the opposite.
I'm the emotional support human for sure.
Yeah. What else is new in your life, Zoe? We haven't been here in so long. Oh my god, I wonder if people thought we were beefing. Like, I wonder if people were like, they haven't filmed together in a while because like they're not okay.
No, and I also think that people think that we like broke up as roommates, which is like the complete opposite. Because people will ask me, they're like, "What about Jackie? Where's Jackie?" And I'm like, and I was actually thinking about this yesterday because I always say like I'm always like my roommate, my roommate, my roommate, and so now I'm transitioning from like my roommate to like my best friend, and that
Yeah,
feels so weird because I'm like she's more than a best friend.
yeah. We literally lived in the same house.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't even think about that, that people could think that we had a roommate breakup. We're here to
yeah,
say we didn't.
we did not. And I'm still in denial. Like, Jackie still has a room here, right
Yeah.
next door.
I still like really don't live anywhere, so who
You're
knows?
still
Like
homeless.
I'm literally like I mean like I pay rent and like main home is Chicago, but I mean like I'm
You're
in
in
North
North
Carolina
Carolina
now.
now. Yeah.
I was in North Carolina like last week, like but not obsessed with North Carolina.
Yeah. Tell us about that because I want to say we talked about it on the podcast and you did, or maybe I'm getting conversations.
I don't want to say not obsessed. Maybe that's not what I should have said. But like it's just like well also I personally like am obsessed with San Diego. I genuinely think it's the best place on planet Earth. If I was loaded, that is where I would stay my whole life. Um, but it's just not a realistic place. It's also like really far away from Chicago and I don't know, I'm like really close with my family and stuff. So it is like too far from like what makes sense for me. Um, but like when I'm here, that's what I'm comparing it to. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it's so humid here. It's so hot here. Like there's not like a huge body of water really close to me. There is like a big lake. Like I literally walked by a lake yesterday. Like there's a lot of lakes here, which is fine. But I just compare it to San Diego and I'm like, doesn't compare like at all.
I know. I know. I find myself doing the same thing because, yeah, finding like the perfect place to live is hard.
Yeah. Because I would consider San Diego perfect in terms of like how I feel there and the things that I can do there. Like I really liked my life there, but it's too far from like people in my life. It's like way too expensive. So like all those things make it like impossible to live there. But in terms of just like if I could dream up a place to live, it would be San Diego.
So the
Like I love
solution
TV.
is make enough money to afford to live in San Diego and to pay for all your friends and family to also live in San Diego.
I was gonna say because even if I could like I mean I can afford to live there, I just can't afford to like live there and like live the way I want to.
Mm-hmm.
So but even if I could do that, it's like, okay, well the family part is still a problem.
Yeah.
So it's just a problem. But yeah, so that's my life update. Literally like kind of like low key a nomad, but spending most of my time in Chicago because I need to be in the office more and studying for the bar is
Yeah.
better in Chicago.
You're being really good with your bar practice schedule, right?
6 hours a day.
That's wild.
Yeah. I'm like, if I didn't think I was sleeping before, I'm like really not sleeping now, but it's okay. I need to like do something about my sleep schedule though, because I really am not sleeping enough. And like, it is so bad for you not to sleep enough. Like, and I can see it. Like, I'm like, and it's not like a weight thing. I'm actually like, if anything, like on like a fitness grind, because I feel like I'm like more structured because of bar prep. So I've been going to Pilates a lot more regularly and stuff, but like you would think I'm gaining weight because my face is like so bloated because I'm
Oh.
not sleeping enough. Like I feel like I'm like retaining things in my face and like I just look so tired all the time. And I don't know. It's like I feel like it's affecting my mood. Like, I don't know. I really need to figure out the sleeping thing. Like it's not funny or cute to like not sleep enough. Like it's
I remember like well, it's just I'm so happy that the society itself, I believe, or maybe it's just who I'm surrounding myself with, puts more stress on like having healthy balance in like enough sleep. Where
yeah.
I don't know, 10 years ago, everyone's like, no sleep. You can sleep when you're dead. Like fuck that, you
It
know?
used to be I get like Facebook notifications of like flashbacks of like me like literally making my Facebook status like only got an hour of sleep last night. Like, I don't know, like thinking it sounded cool. And it's like, it's literally not cool. It's not, and it's also like not cool to be like, wake up and grind to the moon. Like, okay, like please, like close your eyes. Like,
I was so that person, like to an
yeah.
extreme.
You kind of were that person, yeah.
I was that person. And like still sometimes I like fall back into that. Um
Yeah.
but it's yeah, it is not cute. It's not cute.
Yeah. And it's just like so toxic. And like even I'll be like, it won't even like phase me to be like, okay, if I have to do that tonight and then like have enough time tomorrow to do all that, I'll just wake up, like I'll set my first alarm for 3 a.m. And like now it's become like so casual where I like say that it doesn't even feel weird. Whereas like I feel like a couple years ago, if I was like setting an alarm for 3 a.m., I'd be like, oh my God, tomorrow's gonna like suck. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, that's like normal, like 3 nights a week that like I'm setting my first alarm to be like at 3 a.m. But like also not going to bed until like 12:31. So like really getting like no sleep. Yeah, it's not cute. So I do need to figure that out because you're also like just not your best self. Like I'm doing bar prep, but if I'm doing bar prep like dead tired, like am I actually retaining anything? Probably not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
life is hard to figure out. Um
honestly, so true.
cuz it also feels hard because it's like what can you give up? What can you change? And when you think about everything and like I think about everything in your life, it's like there's nothing you want to or feel like you can probably.
Yeah, well, sometimes I'll think about that and I'll be like, there's actually like quite literally like nothing I can give up or that like I want to. So it's
Mhm.
like, but there are like times where like I, end up sitting on the couch for like an hour, and before I knew it, I just sat on TikTok for an hour. So if I stopped doing dumb shit like that, I also could probably sleep more. But I
Yeah.
don't want to give up scrolling on TikTok for an hour.
No, that's like part of relaxation, I've decided.
It really is. And like if you don't scroll on TikTok, like then you're like Zoe and like you don't know what's going on in the world. And like I don't want to live like that.
Dead. No, it's and also I need you to scroll on TikTok because you find the trends, and this is a
Yeah.
good segue. You find the trends and you know what's going on, and then you use it for your job.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, we should talk. Oh my God. I feel like there's so many things that I'm like, have we talked about it or not yet? Like the we probably even talked about like how much like the IA socials are like popping.
Yeah, let's talk about it. And then also we should recap some of those stats you pulled for the podcast. I feel like it's a good time to like celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have been focusing on growing our socials for Inevitable and like kind of just like bringing our just online presence to look like an actual agency and brand rather than just like a hidden thing on the internet. I mean, we went for like 6 to 8 months without even having a website. And I was like, I guess we should get a website so people could like look us up because we were just kind of like, yeah, getting our inbounds, working where like for what we needed to. And then, yeah, we started talking about the agency more. I'm like, oh, we should probably have like an online presence, yeah, at least a website. And
Yeah.
this last couple months, the girls have been doing so good at posting on Instagram and like LinkedIn and where else? Even Facebook. Um,
Yeah.
Facebook is fun too. And Jackie is so like cross collaborative as far as
Mhm.
like she does the podcast stuff. She helps like my personal things and then also the agency. And
Mhm.
so she's like posting on quite literally everything because like
Yeah.
YouTube itself, I feel like it's formed your position because like you have owned like the YouTube, but then the YouTube also has like my personal vlogs and the podcast and then work stuff too. So
Mhm.
Jackie has just kind of like embodied that entire thing. And she's so good at finding those trends. Like, for example, the baby one. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't even know the story of the baby one. I just see it blow up.
Well, yeah, it was just like a random TikTok trend that like blew up. Of people like, well, I guess the original video is literally just this like insanely aware baby who like, first of all, weird of the mom to be like, who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando? Like, wouldn't you say who wants to go to Disney World? Like, that's kind of weird in itself. But it was like such a formal thing, and the baby's just like me. So now it's like this trend that people are like, you know, like putting wording on it. But I will say, like, I was on that trend when it was like pretty early. Now everybody's doing it, but it's pretty on it. But yeah, we posted that video with like when somebody asked if like I want to listen to Let's Laugh About It on the car ride or something. And it's like getting so many views and stuff. And I actually noticed that between the time that we posted that and like today, we've gotten like, I don't know, like 12 or so YouTube subscribers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like from one reel, or I guess on YouTube, it's YouTube Shorts, from one video, that like kind of is a lot when you're like growing.
It is.
So it's just exciting when you like do something. It's also so annoying, like what pops off and what doesn't, because like making that took me 2 minutes, whereas like a reel from like, I don't know, a couple clips all mashed together like takes me, you know, way more than 2 minutes. But like that won't get the kind of traction that this got.
I know.
Hit the door.
I know. It is so annoying. And then but it's cool to see, and just like yeah, and it gets like everyone pumped up. Like we have a newer hire at the agency. Her name's Lindsay, and she's like posting these cool just like trends or just like funny things, and seeing her like on the page just like so confidently posting, and like it has nothing to do with me, which is like I'm trying so hard to kind of just like make the agency like faceless of like this is just like a great customer experience agency. Like, yeah, I founded it, but like I don't need, like I have so much trust in the girls that like I don't need to be involved. Like of course I can like check in and stuff, but they've learned from me, like they're super trusted. And like so seeing like Lindsay on there so confidently like posting just like funny work stuff, it makes me so happy.
The cool thing about Lindsay too is, so Lindsay, give her a little shout out. She actually just graduated college. Why am I blanking on where she went? She went to a school in Florida, University of Florida. Pretty sure.
I'm unsure. I'm so bad with
I'm pretty sure it's University of Florida. And I'm not being like rude. She's new. No, but she's amazing. She's like seems like so smart from what I've like from the few conversations I've had the chance to like have with her. And I'm really impressed by her because sometimes I like put myself in those shoes. Like, okay, I'm 21. I just graduated college. I joined an agency that like, you know, like we obviously like give people like the training they need, but we also like, you know, if we hire you, we trust you, and like we give you the tools you need, and we kind of just like let you swim.
Yeah.
And while watching, of course, because we don't want anybody sinking, but like she really didn't get that. Like I hopped on a meeting with her. I told her like what we want from her. And she like just was like, okay, give me the sign-ins for everything. I'm going to like post. I'm going to have a schedule, like really like no guidance at all. And like what I love about her too is like, I feel like at that age, if I was told like, okay, post on our socials, that would scare me because I'd be like, okay. And I also would probably want somebody to like a video before any time I posted it, because I would want to like make sure like, okay, if this is going on their public stuff, like I want to know. And she'll just like make, you know, an insert or I get all the like, I need to just say video because I want to say like reel or I want to say TikTok, but it's like we're posting them everywhere. But she will just like make a video while she's like working. Like she made one at like Panera and just like posted it. And it's just like, I love that because I just feel like some people are so like, they just want so much like, I don't know, reassurance before they do things. And it's like, trust yourself.
Yeah. And actually, this is something that I've had to kind of like give up with growth is like the less actually this is like not a good segue from like Lindsay to this conversation, but I was just thinking about it because I've never had like I've loved everything I saw from Lindsay, and I'm like hell yeah, and every time I see it I'm like, oh, look at our queen, you know. But
Yeah.
for like personal stuff, if we talk about that silly
Oh my God.
I did this silly rap, but I
And
did
it's
it.
so good.
I did this silly wrap up with the trend that's like something oh, how does it for
I'm
actual one
looking
go?
for a man in finance.
Yeah,
6'5"
finance. Yeah, yeah.
or trust
So
fund.
I redid it for like the agency focus and like CX kind of, and I did it with no music. And then when we edited it, who did you edit it?
No. Cassie did.
Okay, so did. Okay, so when it was edited, like I was just, you know, ripping, like rapping, you know, freestyling. Not actually freestyling, but I didn't know that it was gonna be put on music. And like when I saw it posted, I was like, and the band kid in me like literally died. I was like, oh my gosh, we need to take that down. It's like not on beat, whatever.
Well,
Like,
what's funny too is actually like normally people never ask really for like approval before posting it. I feel like people have gotten like pretty like, you know, they trust themselves, they'll post what they make. Cassie actually happened to be like, Zoe, is this good? I think because like it was Zoe front facing. She's like the founders. People are like, okay, if I'm posting a video of Zoe, I want her to say it's okay. I chimed in and was like, that's perfect. I do want to add like the inevitable agency logo. So then and then I did download the video and I edited that on and then I sent it back to Cassie to post. And I 8-okayed it. Zoe comes in. After it's posted, like, I didn't realize the music would be added. Like it's off. I'm like, she's like, so we'll redo it. I'm like, I literally chimed in and was like, no, that is the most insane thing I've ever heard. It's offbeat for a little bit at the end, and so is every other video that is on TikTok or whatever. Like it's a part of the fun.
yeah, no, and I like had to be okay with it, but that's what I've realized, like my perfectionism holds me back because you know what would have probably happened? I would have said, "Take that down, I'll redo it," and then I would have never redone it.
Yeah, no, I know. That is literally why I was like, delete or not delete what you said. Like we're
Yeah.
keeping it. Like because I just was like in my head I was like, no, because she's not unless she's literally sending the new refilmed video at the same time that she's asking us to take it down. We're not taking it down.
No, and that's like I have to let go of all this like perfectionism. Like there's like things even just like things that would hold me back where it's like a color on the website. Like right
Yeah.
now I can think of something like the front page of the website gives a little bit of a Christmas vibe, but it's fine.
Does it?
But I made it. I made it and I never like edited it.
Wait,
But
I'm dead.
there's
I
like
missed it. How is it
the
Christmas lights? Oh,
there's red and then the background green.
low
And
key,
so
kind of is Christmas vibes, but
yeah.
it's cute.
So there's like these things, just like different what's going on in your face. You're looking at the
No,
website
so
going,
I actually didn't even notice that they added the our client section. It looks so cute.
it looks so cute, right? No, I
How did
know
I
I
not
heard
notice
that.
that they did that? They probably sent like an announcement that they did. That's so cute.
So cute. Yeah, everything's like coming together, but I also need to know that like with me giving things up and like not being able to like have, you know, do everything myself, and everyone's like minds and creativity is different, and then like you're also so hyper focused on like you're your own worst critic. Like I've been practicing so much of just like letting things go because it doesn't at the end of the day, it doesn't need to be perfect, and it doesn't, and maybe it actually is like perfect, but just not perfect in like my mind, you know, but perfect in
Yeah.
someone else's. And that's fine. And it's like really good for me to practice this with like a huge team, because not a huge, but you know, like a big team where everyone's making their own decisions and should be empowered to do that. That like, it's really beautiful actually.
Yeah, and I think sometimes too, like when you when you hold yourself to a standard of being like perfect or whatever, you start to like subconsciously, not like you, but like in general, like I've done this when because I go through phases where I'm like, I can be so type A and I'm like a terror, and I can go through another phase where like I'm not and I really don't care. Like I just like ebb and flow. And I found that when I'm in like a weird phase where I'm being like type A and like a psychopath, like you don't even realize it, but you start holding other people to that insane standard that you're holding yourself to. And then like you start to like sit back and realize like, okay, I actually don't even care that they messed this up and I'm like being insane about it. But at the end of the day, like it does not bother me. Um, so I think it's like important too when you're like, yeah, managing a team and stuff like that, that like you think about that sometimes and you're like, okay, like I also wouldn't want them to like feel bad about like a little mistake. So why am I like making myself feel bad about a little mistake? It's just life is
Yeah.
hard.
Life is hard, and
That's the main thing.
I think there's a beauty, and I'm trying to find this like this balance of kind of giving. And this actually, it's not just for the agency, but it's like any job that I've done, and it happens at Audion too, where it's like you ask someone to do something, and then like, or you change a procedure, and like it's like for example, I keep changing in Gorgeous, we keep changing our custom ticket field, so it's like to gather data in Gorgeous, you have these like drop downs that like you can't close out a customer ticket unless you select these drop downs.
Yeah.
And every day there's like something new that's important to the company. And so I'm trying really hard not to freaking change them every day. And like at a certain point there, we won't have to change them, like rarely at all. But I'm always changing them because we're like still, we're figuring things out, and just like, right now there's a lot of change. And I have to like tell myself like, okay, there's 47 agents, and not everyone's going to do it perfectly, and it's
Yeah.
okay if people don't do it perfectly, but and like also like leaning on the managers to like implement it for their teams themselves, and me not being like in these agents like inboxes like, oh, you did this wrong, like or and I'm just like learning more to just like accept things aren't perfect right at the like as soon as you change something.
Mhm.
And it's a really good trait to practice.
Yeah, or like I find myself doing this sometimes at work. Not as much anymore because now my role has kind of transitioned and I'm not really managing anybody anymore. Um, but I would even find sometimes that I would like notice something was wrong, message that person to like fix it, and like not take into account that they could be in the middle of something else. And so then I would be like, okay, I asked them like 5 minutes ago to like fix this. It takes literally a minute to fix. And they said they were doing it. Why isn't it fixed yet? And then like I would like message them and be like, never mind, I like just did it. It's like, and then they probably feel like crap. They're probably like, oh my God, you gave me fucking 5 minutes. Like, and then you're taking away their learning opportunity because then they didn't even fix it.
Yeah. That's the hard thing about sometimes, because it's like when you've got something in front of you and it needs to be fixed, and like you're like, I'll just do it, when like, yeah, there's like a learning opportunity, and just like leaving it and letting them do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have like, especially like transitioning out of the role I was just in and like training the new person, I like it actually like really highlighted the fact that I was always cleaning up other people's messes because as I was like training him and taking a step back, the team was like making a more obvious mistakes. And I think it's because I would fix the mistake they made before could get noticed by like somebody in a different department, an attorney, whatever. Um, and it kind of made me like look within and be like, oh my God, was I kind of like a shitty manager? Just in the way that like, was I like not actually teaching them these things and just always cleaning up the mess? Like, I think I kind of was, but like, I mean, sometimes like you can't, I'm like not beating myself up over it because also like there was a reason why I would do it. It was because like, things need to be fixed, you know, right away or
Yeah.
whatever the issue is.
No,
But yeah.
I think that's a really good trait too, to like look back and see like where you could have improved, because I think that's like what makes you just better for like the next position too. And that's honestly where I feel like I still have so much to improve on. But when I think about like the way I managed 9, 10 years ago to the where I am now, yeah, I was like constant, because then there's also a beauty of finding like when you're fixing mistakes, sometimes you're like, I don't want to pester them about this. I've already told them, like maybe it's just like a slip up, but
Yeah.
like, so I'll just do it, and that's, yeah, so it's like finding that balance of like, you don't want to be like a freaking terror manager, but then you also want to make sure they're doing things right. So
Yeah. And it's also like sometimes it's just like sometimes I almost feel like I'm being a brat by having them fix it. Cause I'll be like, by the time I'm done typing this message for them to fix it, I could have just fixed it.
Yeah.
But it's really like, it's just like, you're not being a brat by doing that. Like, because they probably want to, like, I personally, like, if I make a mistake and it's like on something that like I do all the time and it was like clear it wasn't just an accident, I'm obvious, like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I clearly like don't know how to do that. I want to be corrected on it so I can stop making that mistake.
Yeah, no, same. I am definitely that person. And then I am a person who I have gotten better, but like constructive criticism is like really hard for me because I
Mm-hmm.
get like I want to be perfect and I never get like mad or angry or defensive, but I get like really down on myself like, you know.
Same.
And I think I'm getting better at that too, but it's all kind of cool stuff that you're like there's so much room for improvement in the workplace.
Yeah, I actually had a call like 2 weeks ago now. Um, I had like a weird feeling it was going to be a bad call because I got asked to like hop on a meeting, um, like a scheduled meeting to go over like my tasks and my billable hours and stuff. And I was like, it must be bad because if it was like a quick question, they would just ask me to get on a call really quick right now. Like, I don't know. You just know. So I'm like, I get on the call and like it's like not I wasn't in trouble. It was not even like necessarily negative. It was not like an HR meeting. Like it was fine. But I immediately started crying on the call because I honestly don't think I've ever, not, this isn't me being like, yeah, I'm so cool, but like I've never really had, I've had like dumb work calls where like, you know, there was like a misunderstanding with like how much PTO time I had. But like I've never had a call with work where I was told that I was not like that my work wasn't perfect, honestly. Like and blah 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 blah. Blah. And it ended up being fine and it was a really good meeting, but it was like a weird like transition of like having to be like, wait, like I'm not perfect. And like sometimes you have to be told that you're doing something wrong, but it's like, so my whole point of that was that like now, like that was like such a bad day. Like that ruined my day. I felt uncomfortable the next day when I went into the office, like that I was like in trouble. And literally these last 2 weeks of work have been so great.
It's there's like a couple things I feel like because you love to take care of people, and so I feel like it's
Mhm.
hard for you to give that up where that was like your department, and it's also a level of like that's what you're comfortable with, and then the new department you're like less comfortable with, so it doesn't feel like as good to like give up the comfort and like focus on the discomfort. Yeah. Well, it also feels good to like check something off
Yeah.
where like you could just check that off. And then
Yeah.
like for the other one, it might take like more research or like thought process and stuff. And it's like less, it takes longer to like check it off. So it's like, it's so crazy how like the workspace is like such like a mental game of like
It
challenges.
really is. And
I want to make sure we talk about this
I
chat
know.
GPT 4 O is what it's called. So, the last episode, Hiram and I talked about this, or he was talking to freaking this chick on his phone, ChatGPT girl, and I was like getting
Waiting with
mad
it.
because she was like flirting with him, right?
Mhm. She
So,
like was though.
yeah, no,
He
yeah,
was
I
flirting
was.
with her.
She was being a flirt, right?
Yeah, but he was flirting with her back.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, so
And
I'm
he
mad
was
at both of them.
texting her.
Yeah. So we woke up one day and of course Hiram like first thing he's like hey chat gpt or whatever, I don't know what he was calling her, what's the weather like or something like that. And it's like of course I'm like, can you stop talking to her, like especially the
That's
first
what?
thing in the morning. And she responds and she has a different voice. And he was like, who are you, wait a second. And it was like this back and forth. He's like, did you change your voice? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm blah blah blah. And she was like gaslighting the fuck out of him, and I was like, that's what you get, like.
Yeah. You
And
want
it
to
was,
mess with a hoe? She'll
yeah,
treat you like one.
exactly. And then he texted me later on, I don't know if it was like a day later or whatever, but I know we weren't like together, we like, I don't know, he was at work or I'm not sure, but he was texting me, he's like, oh my gosh, Scarlett Johansson like Wait, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
You know how I am. Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, this whole lawsuit, blah blah blah. Like her name, like we knew the voice changed, but like we didn't know why. And like he sent me these TikToks, and we'll play one of them. I want to play the one where that guy basically made a TikTok about like that literal same like transaction that Hiram had with him.
What's the name of that movie where you and Matt Damon bought a zoo?
The movie you're thinking of is We Bought a Zoo.
What year did it come out?
We Bought a Zoo was released in 2011.
Who are you?
I'm ChatGPT, an AI language model created by OpenAI. I'm here to help with your questions and provide information. How can I assist you today?
What version of ChatGPT is this?
I'm the newest upgraded ChatGPT 4.0.
Why they changed your voice?
Oh, really? How does it sound different to you?
Where's Scarlett?
I'm not sure who Carla is.
Not Carla! I said Scarlett!
Got it. Scarlett Johansson is the actress who starred in We Bought a Zoo.
I know! Scarlett Johansson is... Scarlett, if you're anywhere in there, I will find you. I'll find you!
And then, Jackie, I'm wondering, because this is like all full circle about the whole voice AI thing that we talked about with Caleb too.
Yeah. No, this story is so interesting too, because it's like, it really, like I noticed, I looked into like what Scarlett Johansson's legal team's doing a little bit. And she also like said it in her statement, but I just like glanced at it quickly since I knew we were going to be talking about it. But what they're doing is they're looking into like, because what's so hard about the voice thing is it's like a company could just be like, well, we just like, sorry, it sounds kind of like you, but it's not your voice. We just like generated it. So what they have to do is like, you know, like dive into like, looking at what they did, like the actual process to create it. And they decided when her legal team asked to look at that process, they removed the voice. And it's definitely because if they were to look into the process, they'd probably find that like they use a sample of her voice and, you know, cut it up and now it's like AI. But it really is like such a crazy concept of like, because if you also think about it, it's like, what am I trying to like verbalize? Like,
It is like so uncomfortable.
So yeah, like I was gonna say, like it's like why can't I think of the word invasion of privacy? It's like that's my voice.
Yeah.
And like I said no, and like now you are using it to like now be in like everybody's phone.
Bizarre breaking Scarlett Johansson news that I did not see coming today. I've been doing this stupid bit where I believe that my ChatGPT sounds like Scarlett Johansson and I'm trying to trick her into slipping up that she actually is her. No pun intended. And today they pulled that voice called Sky off of ChatGPT, and Scarlett Johansson just released this statement. Did not know it was this serious. Last September, I received an offer from Sam Altman, who wanted to hire me to voice the current ChatGPT 4.0 system. He told me that he felt my voicing the system, I could bridge the gap between tech companies and creatives and help consumers to feel comfortable with a seismic shift concerning humans and AI. And that's a valid point. He said that he felt my voice would be comforting to people. And it was. After much consideration for personal reasons, I declined the offer. 9 months later, my friends, my family, the general public, all noted how much the newest system named Sky sounded like me. When I heard the release demo, I was shocked, angered, and in disbelief that Mr. Altman pursued a voice that sounded so eerily similar to mine that my closest friends and news outlets could not tell the difference. Mr. Altman even insinuated that the similarity was intentional, tweeting a single word, her, a reference from the film in which I voiced the chat system, Samantha, who forms an intimate relationship with the human. 2 days before the ChatGPT 4.0 demo was released, Mr. Altman contacted my agent asking me to reconsider. Before we would connect the system, Before we would even connect, the system was out there. As a result of their actions, I was forced to hire legal counsel who wrote 2 letters to Mr. Altman and OpenAI setting out what they have done and asking them to detail the exact process by which they created the Sky Voice. Consequently, OpenAI reluctantly agreed to take down the Sky Voice in a time when we were all grappling with deepfakes and the protection of our own likeness, our own works, our own identities. I believe there are questions that deserve absolute clarity. I look forward to resolution in the form of transparency in an age of, I can't read the bottom because it's recording, something individual rights are protected. Y'all, I did sound like her. That was the joke. That was the humor of it because it really did sound like her, but I had no clue.
Yeah. So the background, well, I guess we could just play that video too, but the background is like they asked her if she would do it. She said no. They still replicated a voice exactly like hers. And the other funny thing is Hiram and I, between that podcast that I thought about and I was like, can you please stop flirting with her? And then when the voice changed, we watched that movie, Her, together. Have you seen it?
No, but now I want to see it.
Yeah. We watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, this movie, like the voice legitimately sounds like the ChatGPT. Like it was exactly the same and like same concept too, where this guy like falls in love with this. And that's why Hiram was like being so funny about it, because this guy falls in love with his computer.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this isn't funny, Hiram. Stop talking to her. And then like a day later it changes. And it was like crazy.
I actually think Hiram mentioned this in the podcast where he said like the concept, or maybe you said it, one of you said it, but like the concept of like these like really personalized AI voices now and stuff, and like how you can have like a full on conversation with them. It actually is like, could be like so helpful to like lonely people. Because there are some people who just like, I don't know, for whatever reason, they like barely even leave their house. And it's like, you kind of like now have a friend. But it's also like, I feel like it could also like, I don't know, like make you weirder.
You need to watch the movie because that was like kind of what it was. It was like, it was also like becoming socially acceptable of like people having like boyfriend, girlfriends on the, like as computer systems.
Yeah.
And like he would go on like double dates with like 2 like humans and like him and his computer. And they would like all have her in their ears so she could like participate. And she was like, she had a personality. She like, whatever, like it's insane. But I feel like that's like, you have to watch it because I didn't understand what Hiram was talking about. Cause I'm like, okay, I get it. Like fell in love with a computer, but like, it's kind of scary. Cause I'm like, wait, is this like what's actually happening to our world?
Yeah. I mean, it probably is. I like hate it. You know how I feel about this stuff. Like I love like advancements in technology, but like I kind of hate it. Oh my God, wait, I wanted to bring this up on the podcast too. Did you see the new Cybertruck that's like, there's only like 3 of them in the world?
No.
It's like the Kanye West Cybertruck.
Oh yeah. Oh, I did see that. And I hate it because I was like, I hate Kanye so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But go ahead, talk about it.
No, I was just going to say that like, it's insane looking and I saw it and I hated it. I was like, no, I don't want the future to look like this.
Yeah, it actually is scary. It's like, yeah, I can see you hating it.
It looks dangerous.
I just don't like Kanye. But also I'm kind of a hypocrite because I'll still wear the stupid Yeezys every once in a while. I'll be like reluctant about it. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to mow my lawn in them.
You wanted to what?
I want to make content of me mowing my lawn in the Yeezys and seeing if people, because like now once he had his little like Jew hate breakdown, the value of them dropped like in half. So now I'm like, I could resell them, but I like don't even want to make money off of him kind of thing. So I'm like, let's see like how funny it would be to just like see people being like, are you mowing your lawn in Yeezys? I just got my first, like, I've been trying to get Travis Scott shoes for forever, like before the whole Astroworld thing. And so I'm like, I feel like still like committed to that, like that drive of like winning
That
them
big.
at retail price. And so I
Yeah.
finally got them, and I think they're like Pikachu looking, you know, and I just like
Oh,
love
those
them.
ones are
But
so
I'm
cute.
at the
Ones
same
in the
time, I'm
store.
like, but I don't even really like these are them.
I like them.
Yeah.
I saw them
So
on your
they're
store.
like cool. But at the same time, I'm like, but I don't really like I don't really like Travis after the whole Astro World thing. But like, it's hard. Zolly's throwing up right now. You good, girl? All right. Well, I'm gonna have to clean that up.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, I guess that's our sign off.
Can you hear her?
Yeah. She was like, I want you to be done recording, and I'm gonna make you be done recording.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was most of our topics, anyways.
Yeah, that was everything.
You want, Sally? Oh,
it was a long catch up, but like necessary. And honestly, it ended up being like a theme for the episode, so it's perfect. She like still going?
Yeah. You okay?
Sally Monster?
Yeah, but anyways, thanks for tuning in again. Apologize for like the back and forth of episodes changing and stuff, but getting back on track.
I actually do feel like we're like gonna be good now going forward. We have some fun episodes coming up, right?
Yeah, we have some podcast swaps. So we'll be looking forward to that. There's like a educational one coming up, and then like a one that's just kind of more about like founder story feel. So be on the lookout for those.
Cool.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate the show.
All the things.
Love you guys.
Love
Catch you in
ya.
the next one.